I'm gonna be showing you how we can set up this character crawling through sand, which in the past this kind of stuff used to be pretty tricky, but with MPM it's very cool and very quick to do. So I wanted to make some more, grab this character and this basic crawl animation, and that is going to give us our collider network. I mean our geometry. So let's see if I open up my RMA Fire. This is the crawl. If we go into assets, I have my FBX right here. So all you need to do is drop it in. So you drop it into Houdini. You set the scale to 0.01, and then we create a sim, the sim setup. So let's have a look at exactly what I did. So I'm gonna drop down an object merge. Gonna keep this right here as my cheat sheet, but it's basically the project file that you guys are gonna get. We come into here. Let me check my notes real quick. All right, so we're gonna import the form, and we're gonna set it into this object. And I know it's the deform because if you go into the FBX, you'll see that inside here there is a deform. So I basically just reference that. And then we have our base animation. Then if you type MPM configure sand instances, this is gonna give us our base. And you can see that in this base, a lot of it is pretty much already set up for us. So if we hit play here, you'll see that we have this guy here that is going to walk through the sand. But what we're gonna do different is, first off, we have our guy. We're gonna connect that into the sandbox. And the sandbox is a really cool tool that Houdini comes with now, which is essentially a trail. So it trails the geometry. Then it creates a box that encompasses that. And then after that, it basically just extrudes and adds like a little bit of mountain movement to it, so that we can get this like base sandbox that essentially covers the path of our animation. So we've got that. Now we have the sand, and we want to replace the test geometry here with our new animation. Now one thing that I've noticed is I like to start with the character outside of the area where it's gonna animate, and then push it down so that it like basically pushes into the sand for starters. Then the next thing that we want to change is in here. I'm gonna do animated deforming, and that's gonna give me this mesh. But then we also want to increase the voxel count to 0.02 or 0.1. I mean, that's just gonna give us a more accurate geometry. So if we go ahead and hit play, we get this base, which is working quite decently. But what I want to do is, I'm gonna copy it from here. I created a box and mirrored so that it sort of controls, it's like another collider that forces the sand so it doesn't spread out as much. Then we duplicate the collider. In this case, we want to do static, and then we want to merge both of our colliders together. And let's go ahead and hit play. And that's how I managed to kind of push our sand together a bit more so that it wouldn't disperse so much. So that's sort of our base setup. Going back to what I had, I'm gonna go back to what I had because it's already cached. I increased my particle separation, then I cached it. Okay, and then after caching it, I deleted all the attributes except for the CD and the velocity. And then I created an attribute randomized to randomize the p-scale. And the last thing that I did was, yeah, that's basically it. So inside here, I have a few render nodes. The first one is the simulation, which is this one. This has a particle, render particle as objects with a scale of 0.05, then the geometry, and then a ground plane. And if we launch our render, one second, let me just put this right here. Got some depth. On the camera I have some depth of field, so I'm gonna turn it off. And then I did set the OCIO to ACES. But you can see how there is really nothing else that has changed on the setup, and it looks really nice and very quick to render. I can show you guys one very last trick that I do with sand, and that is, of course, on the material I did an RS point attribute to import the color. That's why the color is important. Then I'm gonna do an RS ramp and connect it here, and we want to just like isolate some of the particles like that. And then we're gonna do an RS blend RS blend materials. We're gonna duplicate this, connect this one here, and then our ramp is gonna be our blender. Just to test, we are gonna just remove this and make this pink. And let's see. Sometimes just gotta refresh. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. So you can see that our ramp is controlling how much of the pink shows. But what I want to do is not make it pink. I'm gonna keep the color as is, but I'm just gonna get rid of the roughness and then increase the IOR. That way we can get some sand specks in there. And that's it, guys. I mean, it's really that easy. All right, I hope you guys liked it, and I'll be back with more.